everyone. Welcome to our program today. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Fisiani Sinyama. We have a fantastic program lined up for you today. And today we take a mini trip to Côte d'Ivoire in Africa. But first, a little bit about that country. Ivory Coast, or Côte d'Ivoire. Close ties to France following independence in 1960, the development of cocoa production for export and foreign investment all made Côte d'Ivoire one of the most prosperous of the West African states. With a population of just under 23 million people, Côte d'Ivoire is located in Western Africa, bordering the North Atlantic Ocean between Ghana and Liberia. The climate is tropical along the coast, semi-arid in the far north with 3 seasons: warm and dry season from November to March, hot and dry season from March to May, hot and wet season from June to October. The terrain is mostly flat to undulating plains and mountains in the northwest. French is the official language. Hello and welcome back. If you're just joining us today, we are taking a trip to Côte d'Ivoire, and to help us with that culture, we have the 3 sisters, Kelly, Raisa, and Karine. You guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Fisiani, for having us today.
Okay, so we are going to get one thing out of the way. You guys speak French.
Yes,
right?
we do.
Predominantly French.
Yes.
So we are going to be very forgiving. I can't speak French. They can. So sometimes they have to think it in French, and then they'll say it in English. So that out of the way, right?
It would be wonderful.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourselves. I'll start with you, Kelly. How did you come to Canada?
So I came to Canada in 2007. So that was quite a while ago, actually.
Yeah.
And I came in the winter.
Oh.
And we were really not ready for that type of
What
temperature.
month was it?
It was December.
Oh, okay, it was Christmas, so it compensated.
It was Christmas, and it was really hard. But anyway, we got, it was super nice because the university I came to study at the University of Saint Boniface. So they came to pick us up, and they were on time, and they bought us some food, and the room was ready. So we just came, and everything was there.
And you had somewhere to go. There were no hiccups or anything like that.
No, there was no hiccups, except that it was Christmas time, so the university was closed. So it was a little bit of it almost got harder, but the fact that they had somebody to greet us was really nice.
That's nice.
And they had a supervisor to help us.
Raisa, so you were back home when your 2 sisters came to Canada?
Yes, I was. I was finishing with high school.
Yeah.
And right after graduation, I came in 2009.
Okay.
December as well. So it was
You guys, seriously, you could have brought her here in the summer.
December people.
December people. Yeah.
It was cold.
Yeah.
It's still cold.
But it's a lot better. Now you're used to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting used to it.
Yeah.
But it is a great experience.
That's good.
It was, like I said, my first time coming to Canada.
Yeah.
After high school, and I studied at the University of Saint Boniface as well.
Okay.
And after my diploma, I started working a couple of years ago, in 2012.
Okay. Wonderful. And Karine, what are you doing?
Yeah, they said it all already. So I'm just gonna say that our parents really wanted us to be bilingual. So we had the opportunity to study in French at the university, but also to learn English and to be fully bilingual. So that was the main reason for us coming here in Manitoba instead of going to Quebec or another province.
So you could have that English exposure.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm currently working as an accountant at the World Trade Center Winnipeg.
Nice.
Yes, so there is a World Trade Center in Winnipeg. And we just got certified 2 years ago as a World Trade Center. And we are working with entrepreneurs or companies that are looking to grow their markets and their companies. So that's what I do.
So in general, in your country, what would be considered a big family, or what is normal for a family?
So
yeah, like I can answer that. I will say that we have both concepts.
Okay.
So nowadays people are like from people are acting like here, like
Yeah.
you just have your dad and then the kids.
Yeah.
But our family is a very, very big family. Like
Okay.
we always had people coming over, uncles, aunties, grandma, grandpa, all the time, and we almost lived in the same area.
Yeah.
So we were just 15 minutes away from my uncle's house, and we just saw each other all the time.
Mom, I'm
and-
not coming home today. I'm sleeping at my uncle's house.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's true.
So it's a we are a very close family, like
Yeah.
with a lot of members.
Yeah, that is
Yes.
fantastic. Do you guys have any families here?
No, actually, we just the three of us, but we met a wonderful family.
Yes.
And her name is Zita, and
Yeah.
she has been like a mom to us
Wow.
with her kids, and she's just wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to add on what Karine said, it's really common to see, like in my dad's generation, to have like up to 10 kids.
Yeah.
12 sometimes. So my dad has a lot of brothers and sisters, but talking about our generation,
Yeah.
it's getting
gotten
slowly,
down.
slowly
Yeah,
slowing
yeah.
down. 5, 6. Some people go to still 7 and
Yeah.
all. And I have an auntie who has like 5 boys. So I say it will be average. Like
5 boys, eh? I
5
have 2
to
boys,
6.
and sometimes I feel like pulling my hair
Yeah,
out.
it is tough, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's we all live together. Well, my grandma is with us right now, like back home. She lives with my mom, so there is a sense of closeness,
Yeah.
and everybody's together, and we share the culture and the heritage, etc.
That is so fantastic, and like I can almost feel like the closeness. That you have people around you. You're not going to be
Yes,
alone at
it
any
is,
given time.
yes.
That is wonderful.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, and so do you guys? How does culture? I'll talk to you, Raisa. From your background, your cultural background, how has that affected how you live your life here in Canada?
Well, as African people, culture is something that you cannot leave and then, go somewhere and
And
start
then just
from
leave
scratch.
it there. Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. So it's something that is part of us and part of who I am, because culture is in everything I did and everything I do, even now. It was part of the education I received back home, and also the way I talk to people.
Yeah.
It's something when you grow up in a certain community
Yeah.
for 18 years, you cannot
You can't lose it.
Lose it.
Yeah.
So even coming here was hard for me, for example, to call people by
Their first name.
yes, exactly.
I hear you.
And even at work or my teachers at school, because it's something that culturally speaking in Ivory Coast you don't do.
It's a no-no,
It's
yeah.
yes, it's a sign of respect to call somebody by the last name. Even at school, between classmates, we call the last name, not the first name. So it's an example of a cultural difference between
Yes.
Canada and Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
So it's something that I personally respect, because it shows that I'm who I am, and also I'm proud of my country
Yeah.
and what I receive in terms of education, and I keep it where I go, and people are not like shocked saying, "Oh, you weird." No, like, "Oh, okay, it's a different culture, but it's
Yeah.
nice."
Yeah.
To be valued in a different way, but not a bad way. So culture is something important.
You're married, right?
Yeah.
And your husband is also not Canadian, right?
No, it's not
No.
Canadian.
So how does your relationship thrive here in Canada, being from a different culture?
Yeah, like there is a big difference, I know, because back home, men's are really like treated as high priest because of the culture. Like we take care of our men, we doing
Yeah.
everything. I'm not saying I'm not taking care of him, but now I can see that he's very supporting me.
Yeah.
And we are doing things together. It's like
Yeah.
a team.
It's almost like you calm down, right? And have to
Exactly.
adopt the culture where
yes,
you're in.
and
Okay.
I really appreciate that he's always there for me. He's supporting me, and when he can help me, let's say cooking,
Yeah.
he's gonna do it, for
Yeah.
example. But back home, it's like, no, like,
He's
not gonna see.
your mother would not be very happy with you.
I know. But it's
Yeah.
very different, and I like it. I
It
like
is.
this intimacy.
Yeah.
It's real. And
Yeah, yeah, that is wonderful. You know, I like the perspective that she gives. You
Yes.
see, back home, it wouldn't even be you who would be. It's the outside people that would be like, how
I
can you let your
know.
husband do laundry? How can you let
Right.
your husband
Yeah.
cook? You know, they are the ones that are influencing
Making you
that.
feel
exactly. They make you feel bad. But whereas, like you
Yeah.
come here, it's
Yeah.
all supportive. Like it's all about we do it
Yes.
together.
Yes.
Type of thing. That is wonderful. Okay, well, we will be coming back. The three sisters are still here. We have food and we have fantastic games that we're going to talk about, but right after this. Welcome back. We still have the three sisters from Ivory Coast, and right now we're going to talk social etiquette. In every culture, there are no-nos and there are must-dos. Let's talk about respect. In Ivory Coast, what is it that I would do if I came to Ivory Coast that would show somebody that I have respect for them?
My first thing would be not look at the person in the eyes,
No?
which is the complete opposite of Canadian culture, right?
Yes.
But in Ivory Coast and Côte d'Ivoire, you don't look a person in the eyes when you're talking to, especially when it's an elder. The sign of respect will be looking down
Yeah,
when you
bring
talk
your
to
eyes
the
down a
person.
bit.
Yes, because when you look in the eye, it shows that you
Like you're
kind of-
challenging them.
Yeah,
Yes,
challenging
yeah.
them.
Exactly,
Yes.
yes.
And I mean, it's not in the way that you have to look away all the time. It's just that you like just try not to fix the person.
Okay.
Like if you're talking to somebody, obviously you're looking at them.
Yeah.
But it's just do not keep like your eyes steady. You know,
Okay,
and
okay.
fixing as if
Yeah.
you're implying something. That's
yeah,
just
it's like, what are you talking about?
yeah, it's almost as if you're trying to say something,
Yeah.
but you're not, right? That's how we
Wow.
live here.
So eye contact, you have to, tone it down a little bit.
A little
Yeah?
bit and move around.
love it.
And I think I wanted to say that you also have to go visit the family. You are the one who have to go say hi. When you arrive, nobody's gonna come and say, "Oh, welcome," and you have to go.
So when you go back to Ivory Coast from Canada and you are there, well, Kelly is back from Canada, you have to get up and go
Right.
to your uncles
Yes.
and your
Right.
grandmas.
Yes, you
Everyone.
have to do it.
Wow.
They're gonna come to your home. For sure.
That's yeah.
So you go to the adults type
You
of
go,
thing.
yeah.
They don't come to. That is interesting. That is so different.
Yeah.
Because here, if they can come, they can come. If you can
Yeah.
go, you can go. It probably no right or wrong.
Yeah,
But
and
that's
I
good to know.
think they will really feel respected to see that and to see that you come and you bring gifts sometimes.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yes.
The gift.
yeah.
gifts.
You have to take some. You don't go empty-handed.
No.
No.
Interesting. Okay, so in as much as social etiquette is important in Ivory Coast, religion is also very important. So do you guys practice any religion?
Yes.
We are Christians.
We are
All of you are
Christian.
Christians?
Yes, we
All
are.
of us.
Interesting.
Yes, and our
And
family.
I'll start with Kelly. How important is that to you?
Well, I mean, it's the core of who I am, I would
Yeah.
say, because, and also of the music I do, like
Yes.
I mentioned earlier that I was singing. And I started back at church and also at my school. I was just there singing every Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's really part of who I am. And even our grandma, as we were kids, we didn't realize it. But growing up, we found out that she was one of the leaders at a church. and the leader visiting homes and praying with people and singing also, and it was like such a nice discovery.
Yeah,
like,
so important for her, it seems.
And she she spoke to us, and before we didn't know, but every time we were going to visit her, she would pray before we leave the village.
And how about you, Raisa? How personal is it for you?
Well, I think she said it all.
Yeah.
It's true because even in Ivory Coast, it's something that you see every day, every week. It's almost part of the culture to be, you know, to be respectful of religion.
Yeah. To have
no
faith.
matter which religion.
Yeah.
So it's something that we grew up with.
Yeah.
And it almost makes who we are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's important because it's almost mixed with the respect of, you know, one another
Right.
and the love and appreciation of, you know, who we are. So it's important for me, and it's what really drives, you know, all my my motivation and yes.
Interesting. And Karine, tell us a little bit about how religion has impacted your life, and how Christianity, I guess, in this case, has impacted your life.
I think for me, Christianity did so much for me. Like as a young girl, I was able to be a Christian. So that helped me to live my life a certain way, to make most of the time good decisions, trying my best. And especially for me, I think that every individual needs something. Like you need to manage your stress, you need to be motivated, whether you call it, I don't know, meditation or you call it Zen time. I think for me, Christianity really helped me to better myself and to be able to live life to the fullest. So it is part of my life, and because of Christianity, I am who I am. So yeah.
Wonderful.
That's so true.
Well, thank you so much. We're still coming. The three sisters have some food that they're going to teach us how to prepare.
Yes.
And they also have a game that they're going to tell us how to play. So don't go away. We will be back right after this. Hello and welcome back, and we still have Kelly, Raisa and Karine in the studio still talking about Ivory Coast. When is it okay for somebody to leave the home in Ivory Coast? So let's say you've graduated, you're looking for a job, you have a job. Can you leave your parents' home, and when?
Why are you looking at me?
I can answer that one. So I'm just gonna say there's no age. Technically, you can leave anytime, and I'm gonna say when you have a job, most of the time is when kids or children are gonna leave their parent. But there's no obligation, there's no pressure. You can stay there, you can get married there, you can
There's no
raise your
expectation.
kids.
I was 18 and now I'm leaving home. No, nothing like that.
No,
Stay
You
forever.
can stay there as long as you want.
Forever?
Yeah.
Or your dad won't let you go. Be like, yeah, no, you can stay and do this and and sometimes you wouldn't even understand why you wanna, like when we're coming for vacation. If, let's say you wanna have your apartment or something or a place, be like, why?
Yeah, why do you want an apartment?
For women, it's tougher because usually it's when you get married that you can leave house, but sometimes they're just not gonna understand why you want to leave because they still wanna have control and know what you're doing. But
interesting. So then, is it
parents.
easier for a guy to leave the home than it is for a woman?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
But I would say not definitely because in the country it's about heritage as well. Like the house, the parent will like, well, the first boy at least or the first child to you know inherit the house,
Inherit the
and
house,
then carry all the family business and
all
stuff
that,
like that. So if you are the firstborn or the first boy, then they want you to stay there,
around.
married. raise your children there, so that the house is not vacant, because otherwise
I think I think it's more like that they don't, like, the family is so close that they don't understand why if there is a house, if there are rooms, like,
why do you want to go pay
why
rent?
would you want to pay, like, why would you want to go away? Don't you want to stay, and we can see each other every day, and that's mostly, I think it's the link mostly.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say, for me, I can see there is 4 steps. The first step will be the coco. That's how we call it. Coco is like when you knock the door.
Yeah.
So technically, the man is knocking the door of the women house. So that's the first time you introduce your boyfriend or your fiance to your whole family, and he's coming to present himself as your partner.
Okay.
So at that point, the parent will say yes most of the time. They can say no if they don't like the guy, but nowadays they're just gonna say yes as long as he has a job. And then the second part will be the traditional wedding. So because I'm coming from like the South region, so we have a way of celebrating weddings.
Okay.
But this is not the legal procedure. So after the traditional wedding, then you go to the city hall to do the civil wedding, and then after that you go to the church. So technically, the church in Ivory Coast, they don't have the power to certify the wedding. They can only bless it.
It's just the blessing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So once you've done with the civil procedure, then you can continue to the church, and then you marry.
It's so wonderful.
Interesting. You talked about the coco first, right? And then there's the traditional wedding. How does that work? Like, who is arranging that? Is it the man's side of the family or the woman's side of the family?
I think that there's a list, because the man is asking the woman in marriage. So in Ivory Coast, they call it the dot. So technically, the women's family is gonna send a list of what is the price of the woman.
Dowry.
So some family really take it like far. So they can ask for 50
millions of dollars.
I don't know, dollars,
somewhere.
clothes, money, alcohol.
And there's no limit to that list.
There's no limit, but usually it will go with the rules of the region. So there is a chief that's gonna, give the list and be like, if you come for a very notorious family, then the price is gonna be expensive, obviously.
And I think it's mostly a symbol of what the parents spent. Like, it doesn't mean a woman has a value or like a price, but it's mostly how much we care, like how much we invested in her. What you see now is like the product of so many, so many things. You have no idea. So they're trying to make it,
So it's kind of, so it's not like you are selling your daughter.
No,
it's just that
like
you are celebrating the fact that your daughter has grown up to
Yes.
this fantastic person, and you have to show
it is
some
more
consideration.
symbolic. It's more symbolic and to follow with tradition. So
interesting.
It's very fun, very joyful.
I believe it, and I believe there's lots of drums.
Fun, yes. Yes.
Okay, interesting. And so after that, then you said you go to the city hall. And so is there any ceremonies happening at the city hall, or is it just families?
Yeah, it's the legal procedure. So you're gonna sign your wedding registration, and then that is the time where you're gonna wear your white dress, because traditionally we don't wear white dresses. It's very traditional clothing and everything.
But kind of like what Kelly has on,
with a lot of gold, and it's beautiful. It is beautiful.
That is fantastic. Interesting. Okay, well, we're still coming back, and we're still going to talk about food right after this. Welcome back to Home is Here. If you're just joining us, we have the 3 sisters in the studio with us from Ivory Coast, teaching us a little bit about the culture in Ivory Coast. Right now, we have fantastic food right here. And you guys, what do we have?
So we have atiquette, which is actually a national thing in Ivory Coast. You go everywhere.
It's a staple.
Anywhere. You
That's
won't
what you're
find
gonna
anybody
have.
that doesn't know that. And that's something that we eat pretty much any time
Every
of
day.
the day.
Oh,
or
yeah?
any time of the year. It's actually made of cassava.
Okay.
So it's fermented cassava that we wash, we peel, and we crush it. It's pretty much made in a paste almost.
Yeah.
And then we dry it.
Okay.
So when it's really dry, it gets that kind of look like a couscous.
Yeah.
And it's
It does look like couscous. Yeah.
Yes, it does, and it takes a long time actually.
So I guess you have to make it in bulk.
Yes.
Well, we don't make it like the people who do it will probably process it, but then it's sold the way it is.
Okay.
So if you go to the restaurant, you won't they won't actually make it from scratch.
Okay.
They will buy
okay.
this finished
Okay.
version.
And so can you find the finished version here in Winnipeg, or do you have to make it?
Oh
No, you find it
you
here.
find it.
Oh,
with-
yeah?
Like you won't even find the actual tools to make it.
To
right?
make it, eh? Okay. Okay, then what else do we have?
So it is usually served as a side to go with some fish or chicken, fried chicken or fried fish. So today we brought atiquette with fried fish.
Wow, yummy, yummy, yummy.
So pretty much we just take the fish, the whole fish. Usually we eat it. So
The head of the fish?
The head of the fish.
We eat that in my country
usually
too.
you don't see a
Yes.
lot of fish
And when I
head
came here and I
in
found
Canada,
that,
right?
yeah, I was so surprised. I was like, well, what happened to the head? And yeah.
Got
Because
removed.
we eat fresh food, right? So it comes right from the sea, and then just go to the market and
Yeah.
you buy it like
Yeah.
that, and then we don't season it much.
Okay.
Just some basic salt and pepper or green onions, and sometimes cloves,
Okay.
garlic cloves. That's it.
Okay. And you deep fry it, or
Yes,
yeah.
you deep fry
Okay.
it.
All right.
Just to add to it, atiquette traditionally, it is from the south.
Okay.
It is from a people called Ajuko. So they are the best maker of atiquette, and sometimes they mix it with palm oil, and it can be red, and sometimes it is also served with soup, like pepper soup or very spicy soup.
Kejenu.
Kejenu
We call it
also.
kejenu.
So you can find it everywhere, as she said. Like
Wonderful. Well, we're still going to come back and try some of this food, and they're going to tell us how exactly they did the rest of it. So right after this. Welcome back. We have such lovely food right now on my plate, and the three ladies from Ivory Coast are going to tell us exactly in what order it should go, or if it can just go in any order. So I am ready to eat some of this. Is there any particular order you eat it in, or?
No, not really. We just mix it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can
And
take a
then-
little bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so in Ivory Coast, would you have like any eating habits? Like, do you have to use knife and fork? Can I use my hands? Like,
Usually the hands.
Atiquette, yes.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You use your hands.
It will be the end.
Yeah.
okay. Just for the sake of the audience,
Just for the sake of
we'll
the-
use our forks.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll try some of this, and so I can just mix.
Yeah, you can grab the chicken, then you grab a little bit of the side
Okay.
paste, then you
And
can
then
have.
the onions and the tomatoes.
That's
as
why
well.
we use hands, because it's so
I know.
it's hard to have to get it.
I'm good with hands. I use my hands a lot. Okay. Wow.
And you sort of mix it with the fresh tomatoes and onions.
This is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Well, this is such a fantastic meal, and we're going to have it for you. We're going to have the recipe and the instructions on how to make it on our website as well as on our Facebook page. And if you do try any of these recipes at your home, please be sure to take pictures and send them to me, fisiani@sinyama.com, and I will be sure to put them on our social media. Thank you so much, you guys. This was such a fantastic meal. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Home is Here. Join us again next week for an all-new episode of Home is Here. Have a fantastic week.